Okay, so here's what you'll be tested on. Does the modeling clay ever harden? What makes the clay softer to use? Can you add things to your clay like eyes or wire to create your character? How much clay can you use to mix the colors? You need to use a green mat. How to store your character so you can keep working on it. Alrighty, welcome to the modeling clay tutorial. This is a pretty short tutorial because it's modeling clay. So the one thing that differs this clay from all other clays is that this clay never gets hard. You don't have to put it in any kind of plastic or do anything with it. It just stays soft and that makes them really cool to be able to make little animated clay movies with. Little claymation movies because they stay soft and you can continue to mold with them day after day when you come in. We have many different colors and then we got some blacks, so we got all the colors you could want. Now, this is our second set of this clay, and this is why. The first set of the clay, even though I told people in the video, only mix what you need to mix, the very smallest amount, they would still take like a half of this brick and mix it with another half of the brick. Now we've lost all that. You can never unmix a color. So one of the things that I'm asking you to do is that if you want to mix a color, you have to mix a color. See how this is this small? Yep, that's the size that you can mix right there. Because that way you can either mix that size or smaller, and that way there's always lots of regular colors left for other people to come up with their own colors in them. And so you can mix your colors up. Like if I wanted to make this purple lighter, I might make it, anyways, you might want to add a little bit of white to here, and that would make it a little bit lighter. So here's the guidelines that we're going to use, the procedures we're going to use for taking care of this clay. First of all, when they rub together, like look at this. I had these stored in a plastic baggie, all together in one baggie, because I didn't realize that so much damage would be done, and I only need to store them overnight till I brought them into school. So now I have to clean all of that blue off. So these each now have their own baggie for each color, and so make sure that you put it back into the baggie and back into the tote. And if you decide to make something, like let's say that you make a little figurine that you really want to keep and you don't want anybody else to break up, you can go over and on the bookcase in the makerspace, there are a little stack of little plastic containers. You can put your object in there. Don't forget to put a piece of paper in there now with your name on it, your teacher's name on it, and the date. And then update that date every time you go in there. Like if you work on it today, and today is the 12th day of the month, and you put that date on there, if you come in and work on it tomorrow, you need to change that date. That way I know if somebody's abandoned something. If they haven't come in and worked on it for over a week, I consider it abandoned. So update your date in there, but you put it in one of those little plastic tubs, and you put that tub up in your family's box on top of the bookcase. So, and one of the things that, okay, so this is really hard when you start messing with it, see? It's just super hard. But your body heat will warm it up, and once your body heat warms it up, it starts to get much easier to work with. So, see, I've got this brown mat down here. Well, I'm recording this at my house right now, and that's what I use. This is a little silicone mat. We don't have those at the school, but what we do have are these green mats that I made by laminating some green construction paper, and I keep those up on top of the brown cabinet. You need to put one down before you start working with this. Now, when you work with this kind of clay, a lot of times it will come off. See, like I've got blue right there on my hands. So right next to the tote where I keep the clay, you'll find some baby wipes, and just go ahead and use those when you're done and clean your hands up, before you go back to class. And there is a list inside the tote that tells you everything that needs to go back in there. And now here at home, I have these kind of tools, which you have some there. They're not exactly like these, but they are very similar to these. And they're used This one, yours is plastic, but mine is made of metal here. But they're used for, you can make designs in your clay. It's used for smashing your clay. But don't forget that just about anything can become a tool. Like if you want to make something a little bit rugged, take a piece of the sandpaper and press into it, and it will make it look kind of rugged like that. And everything around you becomes a possible tool. So just take a minute to look at that. Now, once you create something, like let's say you want to make a little character, so you can use it with Tabletop Studio, which is what this is actually designed to do. This is not designed just to come in and play with some Play-Doh. This is designed to create your characters for the Tabletop Studio. So once you've designed your character, don't forget to save your character, and it may take you more than one day to design it. And if you want help designing it, let me know. And if you need sometimes it's really nice to be able to use some wire to like make a frame so that it's easier to move your character. I have wire in my office, and if you want to come in my office and get some of that wire and use it, that's fine with me too. You can do that. So just asking you to take good care of it, because we've been going through an awful lot of it, and I found tons of up in there. So when you're using the clay with the Tabletop Studio, you will probably have to come up with a background or some props in it. It's usually a good idea to draw your own background. I just come to me, I've got markers and I've got paper, and get your backgrounds ready for the Tabletop Studio. But you also might want to remember that as your character's in the Tabletop Studio, you might need to make one or two little side pieces to go with him. Animal to go with him, or a dog, or a tree, or a chair that he sits in. Whatever it is that's in your mind, start thinking about the script for your movie. I mean, you're going to make a movie here. You're going to tell something that's going on. So go ahead and write down your ideas to yourself every time you get them, and then we can help. I can help you make those into a movie if you need it, or consult with some of your friends and see what their thoughts are, because you're going to need other people to help you when it's time to put the voices on your movie. So anyways, have a lot of fun. See you guys later, and bye. Okay, so here's what you'll be tested on. Does the modeling clay ever harden? What makes the clay softer to use? Can you add things to your clay like eyes or wire to create your character? How much clay can you use to mix the colors? You need to use a green mat. How to store your character so you can keep working on it.